Hello, my name is Kaylee, and today I will be presenting my Intro to UX project from Career Foundry. This project was to create an app that would empower someone to learn a new language or vocabulary. In this presentation, we will be talking about who the persona is and what her needs are, what are the challenges in creating a solution for her, the usability test and results, prototype tries and fails, how the prototype was improved, what are the next steps for the app, and what I learned from completing this project. So let's get started. This is Jamie. Jamie is a 27-year-old sales manager. One day she has a call scheduled for a client, but the client can only speak Spanish. Jamie now has to schedule both a phone call with the client and find a last-minute translator. If only she knew Spanish, she would be able to take the call herself. She studied Spanish for a few years in high school and still remembers some of the fundamentals, but she regrets not keeping up with the language. Later, when she is home, she decides she wants to try refreshing her knowledge of Spanish to help her with her career. She starts searching for language learning apps. She finds a popular language learning app, downloads it, and tries studying Spanish on it for a few weeks. She feels frustrated when she runs out of tries to get questions right in the lessons. The app keeps dampening her momentum, so she downloads another language learning app, but she isn't happy with this one either, because it focuses more on vocabulary instead of the fundamentals of the language. After flipping back and forth with these two apps for a few months, she starts to pick up on some of the language. Next time a Spanish-speaking client calls, she decides to try speaking with them, but she quickly gets lost and embarrassed that she isn't able to carry on a conversation. What can Jamie do? She's starting to feel like she'll never be able to speak another language and advance her career. She can continue studying, flipping back and forth between the two apps, and trying to speak with her clients. However, this will cause frustration after frustration and embarrassment after embarrassment, eventually leading her to give up on the language learning experience. Jamie needs an app that provides a combination of unlimited lessons, vocabulary study, listening to native speakers, and chances to practice speaking the language with a native speaker before she needs to use this new skill at work. This is what the app Chatter is trying to solve. The language app Chatter was designed with a flat navigation located in the footer of the screen. This way, the user is able to access the different functions of the app from anywhere. The 5 tabs for the app include Lessons, Vocabulary, Home, Media, and Conversation Practice, with Home being in the center. This early prototype was tested among 4 participants, all around the age of 27 or 28. The tested tasks were open the app and create an account, edit a vocabulary word, locate a news article written in Spanish, and find a native speaker to schedule a practice call with. These tasks were chosen because each one would test the user navigation of the unique functions of the app. The test insights were as follows. When the users tried to create an account, most of them were able to skip the onboarding screens, which caused them to miss out on valuable information on what the app does. When the users were asked to edit a vocabulary word, it was hard for them to locate that functionality. As you can see from the image on the screen, the vocabulary tab didn't have any affordances as to what this screen was for. There was a practice and an edit button, but they did not understand what was being practiced or edited. When the users were tasked with finding a news article written in Spanish, they had no problem finding this within the Media tab. And last but not least was that the users were apprehensive to want to schedule a call with a native speaker. The users were able to navigate to the native speakers without issue. However, they thought the feature sounded like something that would make them nervous to use. The results for this test were rated on the Jacob Nielsen's error severity scale, 0 being unimportant and 4 being a catastrophe. One of the highest rated results was the result for the second task, edit a vocabulary word. Take a look at the prototype that is shown now. This is the Vocab Tab that the test participants were presented. As you can see, the title of this page does not describe what this page was intended for, so they didn't know what they were practicing or editing. When they eventually did decide to try tapping on the edit button, they were directed to this screen, and sometimes this was as far as they would go with the task. There was no context that they needed to tap on a word to edit. This was a catastrophe because the user did not feel empowered to study the vocabulary. Some issues with the onboarding process were that I was showing the Get Started button too early. Users also felt that the app was invading their privacy by asking a demographics question, such as why they want to learn the language they selected. When users tested finding a native speaker to schedule a practice call with, they commented that they wouldn't trust talking to anyone. They also wondered how the best match for this feature would be determined. The usability test led to valuable insights to direct the design into a more usable app. The vocabulary process was completely redesigned. As you can see on the left, this is the new Vocabulary tab. This clearly shows the user that they have flashcard decks that they can create, that they can save from other users, and lists of words they've learned in their lessons. The center shows the new flashcard deck screen. This is the hub where the user can edit, share, download, or practice their deck. The screen shown on the far right shows the updated native speaker search. This had a simple improvement, stating that the native speakers were certified, and we also added the addition of a filter button within the search bar. I also added a feature in the Conversation tab that the user can have a practice conversation with a recording, so those who are afraid to talk with a real person can still have the opportunity to practice speaking their new language. Other improvements included choosing icons for the navigation bar, removing the Get Started shortcut in the onboarding process, and adding a skip button to the demographics question that we looked at earlier. There will be a link to the improved prototype in the description below if you're curious to explore the app. The next steps to continue improving the app include drawing a higher fidelity prototype to test again, then iterate. There will be another link in the description below to the current high fidelity prototype. This is what you can see previewed on the screen now. We will know that the app is successful by checking the test results with the problem statement, when the users report that they are able to carry on a conversation with their new language. I learned a lot in completing this project. Testing and research are valuable to creating a useful product, and starting with a paper, low-fidelity prototype saves time and effort. However, I wish I had someone to consult on how people learn new languages and what the best lesson structure would look like. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Check out the prototypes in the description below and let me know what you think.